Hello and welcome back to another in-depth weather video. Today we are going to be talking about Winter Storm Frida, the New Year's winter storm that will dump snow across the plains, including Chicago. Let's begin. So we do have a full article on this storm by the Weather Channel. This will give us a overview of the storm and then we'll go into more detail. So at a glance here, we have a winter storm will spread snow from the Rockies to the plains and the Great Lakes. Heavy snow is possible from the Central Plains to Michigan, and travel could become difficult New Year's Eve and New Year's Day in these areas. The storm, named Winter Storm Frida by the Weather Channel, has prompted winter storm watches and warnings from the southwest to parts of the upper Midwest in advance of the storm. So this is the first storm that I've seen in a while where they've named the storm before we actually see 2 million people under winter storm warnings, or I believe 400,000 square miles of winter storm warned areas. So right now we have a high pressure here in North Dakota and areas of Canada pulling in that cold air. Then we have a low pressure that's going to gather that moisture in the southwest, the desert southwest, and move into the plains, pulling up Gulf moisture, and there we get snow. Timing is going to be Friday night. You start to see all this move into areas such as Denver and Kansas City. Then on Saturday is the main event: Kansas City, Omaha, Chicago, even Detroit getting into some of the snowfall. And here is the Weather Channel's forecasted snowfall. You can see the heaviest areas in between Kansas City and Chicago, but both Kansas City and Chicago could see 5 to 8 inches according to the Weather Channel. So let's move on here to the National Weather Service page and look at our watches, warnings, and advisories. Right now we have winter storm warnings in Washington, Oregon, Idaho, California, Nevada, Arizona, New Mexico, and Colorado, and even parts of Wyoming. We have winter weather advisories in Washington, Oregon, California, Idaho, Nevada, Montana, Wyoming, Utah, Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado, and then we have winter storm watches in parts of Arizona, New Mexico, as well as Kansas, Nebraska, Missouri, Iowa, and Illinois. So let's start here with the NAM 3-kilometer model, and let's track this storm. So right now we have 2 low pressure systems, one in the northwest and one in the southwest. These two will be kind of merging their moisture here throughout the day on Friday. You can see this low pressure is moving south, this moisture is moving to the north, and it all kind of compiles here. This is about midday Eastern time in the Rockies. So all this moisture condenses into the Rockies. Let's go back here. And then we see this low pressure. That's our main low pressure for this storm. It's going to start to move into the central U.S., pull up some Gulf moisture. Right now we are seeing some warmer air in parts of the southeast because of this current ridging in the east, and we have plenty of warm, moist air compiled there. Therefore, when the storm moves into the plains and it starts to pull in plenty of Gulf moisture, it will collide with that cold air, and boom, you can see here plenty of moisture, and you start to see some heavier snowfall in some areas. And now right along that snow, sleet, freezing rain line is where you're going to see that heaviest snowfall, and you could see some heavy freezing rain along that freezing rain line. Now this storm is at 997 millibars, which is still strong and is continuing to strengthen as it continues to move north and east. You can see here that we have heavy rain stretching out from Illinois to Ohio, thunderstorms from Missouri to Texas, heavy snow in areas around Kansas City, Omaha, Lincoln, and then we have freezing rain just south of the Quad Cities, but north of St. Louis. Then we continue to see the storm move into Chicago with some heavy snowfall. You can see that Chicago is right along that rain-snow line, as well as heavy snow in the Quad Cities, as well as in Milwaukee. Detroit is in parts of the wet side of the storm, but we'll see some areas north and west of Detroit see some freezing rain, sleet, and some snow. But let's move on here. This is where the NAM 3-kilometer model ends, and here is where the NAM 12-kilometer will pick it up. So right now we have a 989 millibar low pressure system, and this storm is continuing to move into Canada with that heavy snowfall continuing in parts of eastern Michigan. But at this point, everything is wrapped up, and you just have some light lingering snow in parts of Michigan and a nice little line of some showers and thunderstorms in the southeast. But after this storm, you can see that there is plenty of cold air. Look at all those blue lines stretching all the way down to Louisiana, and maybe even some snow showers there in Mississippi. So this storm is going to be strong enough to pull in that Arctic air from Canada and could bring in a pretty chilly week after the new year. So let's start things off here with our snowfall totals. This is the NAM 3-kilometer model, which isn't the complete picture, but does get us close enough in some spots. So in the southwest, you could see areas in the upper elevations I just saw 75 inches of snow in some spots. So the higher elevations will be getting plenty of snow. Areas such as Denver could see 3 to 5 inches of snowfall. Then we move into the Midwest, and you can see areas such as Kansas City won't be getting that much. You'll be right on that rain, snow, sleet line. But areas northwest of Kansas City, such as in Omaha and Lincoln, could see close to a foot of snow. Then we move into areas such as the Quad Cities, where you could see 6 to 10 inches of snowfall, and Chicago, where you could see between 5 and 8 inches of snowfall. So here's the NAM 12, and you can see here that it has Chicago in that 5 to 10 inch range. Some areas north and west of Chicago could see 10, 11 inches of snowfall. Milwaukee, you're right around that same range as well. And then we move into Michigan, where areas around Detroit won't see that much. You'll be kind of in that sleet, freezing rain area. So 1 to 3 generally, but northwest of Detroit and near areas like East Lansing, Grand Rapids, areas around there could see that stretch of 6 to 12 inches resembled in the pink. Now let's move on here to the NAM's rendition, NAM 3's rendition of freezing rain totals. So you can see that there's going to be freezing rain from Oklahoma all the way up into Michigan. And areas in Oklahoma, northwest of Oklahoma City, could see 1/4 of an inch possible, but most areas will see 1/10 of an inch in this band here. We move into Kansas and Missouri, where you could see some areas over 1/3 of an inch, but most areas still in that 1/10 of an inch range. Then Illinois is where the heaviest of the freezing rain will be, and you can see some areas at 1/2 an inch of freezing rain. Then let's move on into the NAM 12, where you can see areas in Michigan could see a glaze to even some areas 1/2 an inch of freezing rain before all this freezing rain moves into Canada. Areas such as Detroit won't see any freezing rain. You'll probably stay as rain for most of the storm, but areas just north and west of Detroit could see up to 1/4 of an inch to even that 1/2 inch of freezing rain. Finally, let's look at our total precipitation. So this storm is going to be bringing up a lot of Gulf moisture, and this means that we will see some very heavy rainfall amounts, especially in areas that won't be getting snowfall. So you can see that our rain, snow, sleet, freezing rain line is right around here. So most of this heavy precipitation is going to be pure rain, and some areas could see a lot of it. So areas in Arkansas and Missouri could see 2 inches, but areas through Missouri, Illinois, Indiana could see 1 inch to 2 inches, maybe even more than that in some spots. Indianapolis is right in that 2-inch range. Then you can see here Cleveland is right around 1.5 inches of rain, as well as we have Cincinnati down here at about 1 inch of rain. Pittsburgh is right around 1 inch as well, so plenty of moisture here that will be, if you're not getting any snow, you will get a significant amount of rain from this system. Again, this is a pretty powerful system, so we could see some very heavy areas of some rain, as well as some thunderstorms on that southern side. This is kind of combining the threat from yesterday, the severe threat, into today, as well as this storm, so I'm not going to really count that. But here's the NAM 12, and you can see here that just extends some of that heavier rain further south. So areas such as Louisville, Kentucky could see over 2 inches of rain. And then you can see here the areas such as Nashville could see up to an inch of rain as well. But that is all I have for this system. Overall, just a messy storm that could really impact travel over the New Year's weekend. So if you are in any of the areas, especially with that ice, a quarter of an inch of ice, even a tenth of an inch of ice, will glaze the roads enough where you will not have any traction on the roads. So make sure to be careful through those areas if you are driving, and areas that were in snow and freezing rain. If there are any airports in there, expect delays this weekend. So I know it is a pretty big travel weekend, either going somewhere or coming back from a location. So if you're going into any of those airports, let's go into our snow. So anywhere in here, so such as Chicago O'Hare, then you have areas in Kansas City, Milwaukee, even Detroit could be having some problems, especially with that freezing rain. And so that will create a rough travel weekend for whoever is going into those areas. But that is all I have for this storm. If you enjoyed this video, consider leaving a like, subscribing, and hitting the bell. That's all I have for today. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time.